Let me play for you something. That's what she recorded. That was the demo she recorded to that song. I play it again. That's the first time she wrote that song. So we played that, she wrote that. Now then we go perfecting and making it match. But you can see from the demo, there's a lot of potential in just how she writes the chorus, the melody she puts in the chorus. And the fact that she's Congolese helped a lot that song go that direction. If Alicia's was not in that song, it would not have gone that direction. Yeah, probably it would have been another Kapuka song, something completely different. But that's the collaborative effort of myself, Francis, Shege, and Gabriel, and Alicia's on that song. So you've seen how we write music. That's how we write music. It's a collaborative effort, and you have to be psychologically prepared to write a great song. Yeah? Don't write music like it's a hobby. You're not doing a hobby, because the moment you start looking at it like a hobby, first of all, you're wasting time. Songwriting, it's a career just like any other. The same way a lawyer, the same way a doctor, the same way a pilot take their craft very seriously. You also have to start looking at it like a serious career and seeing how can I write content that can make a career for me, or content that can become something for me. Yeah? So, moving on, we say the things that make a song great, simple, catchy, easy to relate, you know, a memorable content. Yeah? But then there's also what we call the arrangement. The arrangement is what creates dynamic in the song. There's one song that I did that completely had no dynamic. As in, I did this song and I felt very stupid. Let me play it for you. But it worked because of one thing. Not because of the strength of me as a songwriter, but on the strength of the artist as a good songwriter. This is it. This song.
You guys, this one a good one. A good one, 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 and this one. A good one. You guys, good next. Colombo, Musyoka.
That's the loop. That song has 4 tracks. A drum, a bass, and a guitar chord. 4 things. But the songwriting is very good. And this is where I got the loop from.
Please keep in mind the originators of all these great Jamaican rhythms. Make sure you pay for your music. A message from Canada.com.
Who has ever heard that song, that rhythm? You've heard Mada she wrote, not that rhythm. These are very 2 different rhythms. So when they came for me with the idea, we recorded to that. I mean, it was something so quick. They're just rolling from Juba with Kolo. Then they came singing that song on the plane. So when they landed, we did that song. What made that song great is how they wrote it. Now, let me not call myself a genius. I'm not a genius, yeah? But I believed in making that song very simple. If I had started doing piano keys, the song would have completely lost the flavor of the... It was a very edgy song. You know what is an edgy song? It's very edgy. It's a very risky song. And risky, I mean Q-U-E. R-I-S-Q-U-E. Joini Kamusi. You understand what risky means, yeah? It's a song that pushed the envelope of songwriting, yeah? And those are the things that make songs great. You don't have to think too hard. Make it very simple, yeah? Because if I had tried now to be like, okay, hey, you baseline nitameki endaje? Hey, sasa hapa nitatafuta synth gani? hapa nitaweka flute, hapa nitaweka it completely dilutes the song, yeah. Sometimes it's good to leave. Si mnaona siku hizi watu wanavaa jacket zimekatika katika. For me that is what you guy was like. An unfinished shirt. You know, jeans imeraruka, but it's still very stylish. It has its own swag, it has its own vibe. So also be bold enough to make such moves with your music, yeah? You don't have to refine everything, yeah? There are songs that need refinement. There are songs that don't need refinement. And this is an example of a song that, if you refine this song, everything changes, yeah? So, talking about now the dynamics. Somebody talked about arrangement, yeah? Why do we have a chorus? Why do we have a verse? Why do we have a bridge? Yeah? You have to be able to play with people's what? Emotions and psyche. Yeah? There are songs, the thing starts, and then you're just waiting for that thing to drop. Let me play for you another song that when I listen to it, it just this song. What do you do when that part comes? Can you imagine in a club you are just starting to party and then you just you know what's coming, yeah? So that's a very good play with dynamics. The same thing. You have to build your song to have dynamics. You have to have a verse that leads to something. Yeah? Just don't have a verse and then a chorus that just comes in, it doesn't take you anywhere. So you have to learn to make your song scale up. You have to build up your song. You have to start here and there. Or start there and deep. Depending on what you want to achieve. A musician who was very good at that is Michael Jackson. Yeah? This is MJ. There's a song of MJ here that starts, yeah?
About rain? What about nothing?
Just grows.
What have we done to the world? Look what we've done.
Simplicity, just a bit.
What about all the peace that you pledged your only son?
And then the voice.
What about flowering fields?
And by the time it's ending, yeah, that's dynamic in music. Yeah, that's how you create dynamic in music. So you have to learn to have that, so that you can take your people up and down, and you can create that using your voice, using the instruments, your arrangement. There are a lot of ways you can play with dynamics in a song. Like for me, You Guy, that song was a very difficult song to create dynamics with because it was a loop. But this song, they did not record all of it in one take, yeah? How I created dynamic because it's a loop.
This one, a good one. A good one, 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 a good one,
But listen to before the verse
a
starts.
good one. Good love, the skills. I'll see you back in the days. Let's go. One,
Mimi mgenge na picha kana zile ziko maji zimebeki inakata maji zifika mapi.
And then another trick for creating dynamism in this song.
Oh yes, baby nimesete.
Hand over.
yeah.
Instead of the song is already repetitive, the music. So Gabu sings for 16 bars, you're like, okay, where is this song going? So I cut it in two. Everybody sings 8, 8, 8, 8. Yeah? Because the music was just a loop. There's nowhere this song was going. And come back again. Yeah, so that double kick just before every transition helps create the dynamic. So those are, you have to think of how this song is going to transition from one section to another. Because dynamics are very, very, very important. Yeah? And so the simpler the melody, the greater the chances of being a great song. So simplicity, catchiness, and easy to relate to, yeah? And also, the name you give to your song is very, very important, yeah? Some names are so unique. A song like Billie Jean, there's no other song ever called Billie Jean, yeah? There's no other song ever called Buffalo Soldiers. There's no other song ever called Iron Lion Zion, yeah? There's no other song called Karen. Sorry, I have to throw my... Naming is very important. And I remember we had a fight about that song, Karen. The artist wanted the song called, if I tell you the name, Sijamona. That was the name they wanted. But I told them that will never work. That will never ever work, yeah? A song called Unbogable. There's no other Kenyan song called Unbogable, yeah? Well. Yeah? Naming is very, very important, yeah? So you have to choose a name that is very unique to your song, yeah? So when you're also writing, because sometimes you just write a song and then you have this simple chorus, oh, I love, then you call your song Love. How many songs are called Love? Very, very many, yeah? Yeah, so naming is also very important because it makes the song stand out. There's a song called Wangster. You would hear that sort of calling your song Wangster. Yeah? It's a very bullish word, yeah? But he had the balls to call his song Wangster. Yeah? Then there's a song called Tipito. Who knows Tipito? Then there's another one called Bazokizo. Don't think these songs are great because it's flukes. There is some psychology behind these songs being great. Very memorable. The second one, yeah? Shrabo counter. There's a psychology behind some of these songs being great. You may not even know it that you're doing it, yeah? But the idea itself is so unique that you just have an intuition within you that this song is gonna work. I mean, in a million years, can you imagine a song called Bazokizo? Or The Dance? I mean, those are very, very unique names to naming a song, and they make a song very, very memorable. Yeah? So it's very important the kind of name that you also give a song. Yeah? Instrumentation is also key, and the mouth is a very powerful tool. Yeah? What you do with your mouth, you have to look at your singing or the person who is singing as part of the bigger picture. Not that there's a song here separately and then there's somebody who is going to sing here. And I'm going to play for you a video of a song, and you will hear how the producer and the songwriters talk about the use of extraordinary sounds to make the song work. So, DJ, play for me video number 2.
To be honest, I know what we're doing now is like looking into it, but none of us thought that much into it. I didn't make the song to be mine to sing.
He'd already said everything he wanted to say for that moment on his record. We went in there just to write a song.
Does that guy look like a guy who can write such a song? He just looks like he's going to an office somewhere. Yeah?
If we went into the session writing a song for Ed Sheeran, I don't think we'd ever have recorded Shape of You.
Girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Coming now, follow my lead. Coming now, follow my lead.
It was the first day I'd ever been in with Steve. Literally the first thing he did was he walked over to a keyboard and played. Yeah, that's a good start.
The log drum that we use, it was the first sound up.
What sound did he use? Log drum. Log? So msiende kwa internet kutafuta sound of... It's not a complicated sound. It's one of the most basic sounds you can ever have on a whatever. Let me even pull it. See if I have a log drum. A log drum is very close to marimba. You know a marimba? So a log drum is in the family of marimbas. So
I found, and it just felt like a world sound.
Ed started doing that thing on the guitar that he does.
And then like it.
I honestly believe it's because Ed is so impatient that he can't wait for me to get a drum sound up. So he goes out and he says, look, I'll just do it on the guitar.
So he was doing that in the studio and Steve said, can we get that on the loop?
Straight away, he goes, give me a clean track. And he just starts layering over the top. This is 15 minutes into meeting him, you know, and we're away, we're off. The easiest thing with this key would be to go with it. Like of the rhythm. Ed goes completely against that. He's almost the percussion with it. So
Love isn't the best place to find the lovers, so the bar is where I go.
and that keeps the pace up.
I'm always a fan of keeping it more strict because I'm an acoustic artist first and foremost, and when I play live I can't replicate all these things. I haven't got any other musicians.
So you don't need anything else because that's the percussion. That's Ed. Ed is the instrument.
When we let the story begin. We're going out on our first date. You and me are thrifty, so all you can eat. Fill up your bag and I fill up the plate.
Johnny's like my main guy that I work with. Me and him together on our own have probably written 200-300 songs.
His attention span could be fairly low. One of the things I did to try and keep him in the room while I would be working on a track, I would have like a suitcase full of Lego I'd pull into the hotel room and say, there you go, you build that. And it was great because he would sit and build the Lego and kind of get lost in that world for a second and come up with this moment that was everything.
Because as we were writing it, I kind of knew I wanted it to be like a really sort of R&B type feel, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if like we put like an interpolation with no scrubs in it? So the bit that went, girl, you know I want your love, originally was, girl, you know I want your love.
There were some moments that I found on the Shape of You tapes which were really interesting.
I'll be my baby, I'll be my baby, I'll be my baby. Come on, yeah, come on, be my baby, come on, be my baby.
So that's a perfect example of how Ed, it starts off as a ba 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 ba, just a noise, and then you hear that moment where he discovers it should be come on, he's inviting this person in.
He has in his mind, this is how I want the song to sound, this is what I want to talk about. Originally, I think we were talking about it maybe being my t-shirt smells like you. And he was like, no, it's got to be my bed sheets.
It's bed sheets smell of you, and I remember thinking, oh God, no, not bed sheets.
On the original version, it doesn't actually say I'm in love with the shape of you. It only says that at the beginning bit.
Last night you were in my room. Now my bed sheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body.
See, like a weird thing in there, that's pretty odd.
I'm in love with your body. On its own, felt objectifying to me.
Yeah, he's got a like really warm heart.
Do you not like I'm in love with your body?
I do. It's.
I'm in love with your body.
I mean, I say I just always like if we could just push it so it's one thing.
Where I come from, there's this phrase, they say look at the shape of you, and that means, you know, look at the way you've showed up.
I know what the shape of you, but I don't know if that's true. It is more. I'm in love with you.
You're not just the body.
It is more
than your body.
You are more than your body. Yeah.
I'm in love with the shape of you.
I'm in love with the way you move. But it's not just the shape of you.
This song is just one loop the whole way through. It's a very monotonous thing, so when you've got that for the whole song. The only thing you can do are light and shade bits.
So once you've heard the first 10 seconds, there's no more learning to be done when it comes to the hook. Then everything else is a surprise.
It's so minimal that every time something new does come in, it's you hear it. Laying up some more vocals, some of these guitars. One of the things that we added was the mellotron. And it just added a little colour to it for me. Just a little bass drum, just to give it some weight. We've got a little 16 clap going. Then we added a little rib. That's kind of the only thing that's sort of slightly off the beat, you know. So it feels like it's moving on all the time. You're not getting bored. Every time you start getting bored of it, something new comes in, or something drops out.
It kind of builds and builds and builds and then drops and builds and builds and builds and then drops, and then at the end it has a moment which I quite like.
Come on, be my baby, come on, be my baby, come on. I'm in love with the shape of you. The push and pull like a magnet. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body.
You don't really notice it happening, but it's happening underneath, and you just get this feeling of tension, release, tension, release.
I'm in love with the shape of you.
We moved on to another song,
We've actually got a cut with Faith Hill and Tim McGraw that we wrote the same day.
and then we did another one after that.
We wrote a bunch that day. Oh, the Liam Payne one as well.
And that was when at the end of the third song, he said, go back and can you play me the first tune again?
We thought it might be a duet, and the duet would be that the girl sings one verse and the guy sings another verse.
When I was like, this sounds like Rudimental should do it with Rihanna.
He said, I don't think this is for me.
I was off to the studio where my record label head was. I played it, and then he was just kind of looking at me like, why are you wanting to give this away? I don't really know what it means to choose it. I just like writing songs.
It's not rocket science, you know, it's much, much more complicated.
Kind of the best hour and a half of my life.
To follow a trend is a common thing in pop, and it's something that I've always tried to not do, but I was wrong this time, man. It's one of the biggest songs of my career. Yep. How many had seen this video before? You had seen it, eh? Imekumbuka. Second time. Yeah. So you've seen how that guy wrote that song, eh? And in fact, he wasn't even writing it for himself. Yeah? That's the beauty of developed nation, and I hope we are going to get there, whereby you can write a song for somebody and then have that song performed by somebody else. And it's already happening. Fena has written the song for Sauti Sol, Girl Next Door, with Tiwa Savage. And there's a new songwriter, I think it's called Viri or somebody. Yeah? So it's already happening, whereby you have, and Bien does this a lot, Bien of Sauti Sol. He writes songs for other people, yeah? So I'm sure you're wondering, how does that help me? We'll get into that in the last part of it. The business side of songwriting. Who owns what, who controls what, who manages what, who administers what. So we are going to look at one more video. This one, the reason I've put up this video is because most of the songwriters, the guys who wrote this song are millennials. It's a song written by very young guys. They were in college when they wrote this song. And it's how you can identify it. Because the videos that I've shown you of mine and the Ed Sheeran song, those are very traditional ways of writing music, yeah? And I don't think a lot of guys get into that way much later as their careers progress, yeah? But there's a very big song right now, and the guys who wrote it are pretty much young kids
Fruity Loops, laptop, Reason, Ableton, no fancy instruments, just samples, thinking outside the box. And please, when you go to YouTube, there's a channel called Genius. Have you heard of Genius? Yeah? They deconstruct how modern songs are done. And it's very, very helpful for young songwriters to understand and to feel, because maybe you may watch this and be like, I can't write music like that, I only have a laptop, I only have Fruity Loops, I'm very inadequate in my songwriting techniques, but it's very, very possible. So, it's a video of the song Unforgettable by French Montana. Have you watched the video on YouTube? How many have not watched it? Most of you have not watched it. Video number 3. So it's a last one on the songwriting. For me, the reason I brought it up is because it's very relevant to the way music is being written nowadays.
The first we heard about French on it was when it leaked in November. We were like, yo, French is on it. And it was like, French Montana releases like Unforgivable or something. Like on the artwork it said like Unforgivable. And I was like, man, they couldn't even get that part right. Jeez. So One Mind is a group of 3 producers, me, Sebastian, Michael Lohmeyer. We're all from Indianapolis. We all make music together. We also work independently when we're not together, but we bounce ideas off each other. We've been working with Rare Middles a lot, and that's his vibes, a lot of like dancehall. So that was kind of like the aesthetic that we had been like working on the past few months in terms of like
Almost ahead of the wave.
Yeah. As far as like the actual beat the day of. Actually, I was down at Indiana University at their spring weekend, which is like a huge party. It's like their big party weekend of the year. So I'm like out with my friends, just like going to this party all day, just like having a great time, getting super lit, whatever. And then I see this message on my Twitter from Oliver, like OVO Oliver, and he's like, yo, this is like our last session for views. Like send some more shit. If you guys have any last ideas, send through. So I see it, I was like, oh shit. Well, I guess I probably do have to like make something right now. So I kind of like ducked off back to my friend's house, kind of did a little session for like 4 hours, and that turned out to be the Unforgettable beat. And I sent it back to Oliver, and he was like, yo, this is fire, like hold on to it or whatever. Like obviously I didn't end up using it, but yeah, I think it worked out for the best. So the first thing I started.
Who did he say he sent the song to? He said a name. Ovo. Who is Ovo? Who? Who is? Drake. Drake has an album called Views. What did he say? They were asked to do a song for? Drake has a song with Wizkid called? Now, there's a version with Wizkid. Wizkid wrote this entire song. It's Wizkid who wrote this song. The entire song, this song, the music, the melodies, the singing part. Yes. What Swale sings, Wizkid. The entire thing. French Montana removed Wizkid's verses and put his rap. Continue. I've had their version with Wizkid.
Out with was this little some reverse guitar chords. So it was like a guitar chord that was in a pack or something that I like transposed and like rearranged. I actually put a little delay on it, and I automated the delay so you can kind of hear like changing pitch a little bit. I think it's I think the next thing was I probably put the bass in just to like see what kind of like vibe that would give it. So this was the next thing that happened. And this bass I put like a big crusher on, just kind of give it like a different feel. Kind of like scream. Yeah. And then I had these picks. So once I had that going, I knew it was about to be, good little song. I mean, the kick is like where the pulse is at, so the kick is kind of what like sets that foundation for the whole like vibe of the song. So I kind of wanted to have that like 4 on the floor knock just because I knew like that was like the dance wave, you know, that was what everyone was going crazy for. So then after that, I put in the steel pan. I put another big crusher on that too, just to give it like more texture, a little more atmosphere, just make it sound different. Because you know, I knew a lot of people had been using that sound, so I didn't want it to sound like exactly like what everyone else was doing. So I tried to just like mess up the sound a little bit. And like when I played it worked. I just played it like right off my laptop keys, and it just worked really well. I didn't necessarily think that was gonna be like the crazy sound of the beat, but like that's the part that like everyone's been saying is like really cool. So, I have a lot of little just like ambient like vocal chops, you know, that I just like keep around in my database. This little voice right here, and then I put in this synth right here. And this one, I didn't really put too many effects on this. It was just basically as it is. I just kind of took out some of the frequencies to give like the voice more room. But that was definitely a really cool sound that I think brought the beat to like another level. That's basically it. Like on the original beat, there was this like crazy like slow down at the end. And Sway actually recorded like a whole like 16 bar thing to that part. It was really cool, yeah. But you know, that didn't make it onto the final record. But I think, you know, they really like picked the most like concise version of the bars and like pieced it together in a way that I thought was like pretty smart and pretty cool.
One of our homies, he's like boys with Sway, so he actually played the track for Sway, and then Sway jumped on it, and then I know they had a bunch of ideas whether or not to keep it or to shop it around, and then eventually got leaked with other artists who weren't on the final version, and then there's a bunch of versions going around, but then ultimately French decided he wanted it, and then he kept Sway on it, and then bam, it was a masterpiece.
Yeah, what's funny, because this is where it starts to get to the point where like I had my original version, and then I passed it off to Yegan, and he kind of like actually just opened up the beat a little bit, like took out some of the extra sounds that I put in, gave it more space, added like some different drum sounds. So there's like a section where the drums actually switch up. Yeah, I just like really respect him as a producer. He's super dope. So like I wanted to just see if he had any other ideas for it, you know, just like some switch ups that could just like bring it to another level. And you know, that was exactly what happened. So I just sent it his way, and like right away he was like, yo, this is fire. Like when he sent me back the new version, I was like, this is a smash. Like this song will go 100%. So as someone who like worked on the record in like at the early stages, and then to see like how much further they took it later in terms of like going to Uganda to shoot the video, like putting it out the way they did, it was all super cool. And then like, you know, this whole Unforgettable Dance Challenge, like the campaign, raise money like for the healthcare in the community, like that's super cool. I mean, you always want to see that. Like who doesn't want to see that? So I mean, like I just feel super blessed to be a part of that, and to just like see how like somehow I made this like beat in like in Indiana, and like the kids are dancing to it in Uganda. Like that's crazy.
Feel like I'm fresh out booth. If they want to drum, got the hose. Ship the whole crew to the cruise. Doing shit you don't even see.
Yep, so that's a very different way of songwriting, but at the end of the day, the product is a great product. Yeah, so the way you talked about the song went from very many different people before it finally got to the artists who brought it to the world.
I know how to program beats, I know how to produce the full thing, you know what I'm saying? And now,
All the way to the mix down to the arrangement.
everything. Now, don't get it twisted, I have a team, and I praise my team. I'm not like these other guys that hide their team. That's why I always promote and I give them credits on all my records.
Who is your team?
I got Lee on the beats, I got Nasty Beat Makers. He produced All I Do Is Win with me.
Congratulations.
He grew up with me from day one. I used to make beats in his garage. Nasty can tell you right now, I'm nasty on the MPC, nasty on the turntables. So is he.
Do you believe in that confusion, right? Because
Billions, the runners, I got a lot of teams. But
Quincy Jones didn't, I don't believe, played an instrument on Thriller.
So basically,
but he organized everyone.
Basically, this is what it is, right? A producer gets the job done and makes the record come to light, and 90% of the creative process. Because on my records, I can speak for my records, that's all my vibes. From like picking, if I pick a beat, sometimes I hear a beat, I just hear the melody, I change the drums. I need the drums, I hate them. Let's do new drums. If it's writing, it might be me and a writer come up like, you mind, that's my talk. You mind, that's my talk. I sing in the shower to my lady. Like, you understand what I'm trying to tell you? These are things, and I come to artists and I present to the artist ideas. Every record has a different story. So I come with the artist an idea, and they either love it, and they love it, they contribute to it, and make it 10 times bigger. Producers get the job done. If it's from getting a beat maker with you in there, sometimes I gotta call a guitarist in, a keyboard player in. Sometimes I gotta call a guy that plays the flute. I tell them sometimes what to put out my mouth. I want you to go, It's producing. It's getting played. You know what I'm saying? That's writing. You know what I'm saying? That's putting a masterpiece together. Let me ask you this. If it was that easy, how come these people can't make the records I made? The artists that's on my records always want the records for themselves. That's how great they are. You see what I'm saying? And you ever want a hit record, come to me. I'll give you one. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta come to me and experience we the best sound vibration. Every record has a situation. When I started in the game, I was a full beat maker. Beat Novocaine. That's when I made the records for Joe Crack, Ludacris, Fabulous. You know what I'm saying? Ask these people, they see me actually, program, sample. That was when I was in the Beat Novocaine era. I had a sound, it was real dramatic, you know what I'm saying, with hard drums and a lot of synths. That was my sound. The bigger I got, you know what I'm saying, when the game changed, like with no more vinyl, they had Serato. Well, producing changed. They made Logic. They made Fruity Loops. It's called Too Easy. It's called you tell the computer what to program. That's why you see everybody's a producer and a DJ now. But it takes a great producer like me to tell them sounds is garbage. They're fake. Don't fall for the trap. Let's go with these sounds. Let's do this. Oh shit, this beat you presented me is dope. Give me that. Watch what I do. Reformat it, put the artists on it, put the ideas on it. Boom. I'm not taking your producer credit. We produce this together now. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a real dude. Some people hide them. I don't.
Do you believe, and the reason I took you down that journey, do you believe that lack of understanding in the game is...
They don't know what you do.
No, of course, the new generation.
Or these people who sleep on you, the cats who don't give you credit, they don't understand what
and that's why Ebro is bringing this up to answer questions. That's him being a great jock. And he knows because I think Ebro produces too. I've seen Ebro in the studio. Everybody, some people are just special and gifted. Like, I'm a super great A&R too. I'm a super great executive too. You know why artists love me? Because I'm an artist and I also know the game on the business. I make records, I find records, I put records out. I'm a machine. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Not everybody can do the 3 steps.
No.
Some people can just be the artist.
Yeah.
I can put it out for you. Ebro knows, you know. I have meetings here all the time. You see what I'm saying? It's called being a boss. Like, people, I'm not gonna come in here unless the groundwork is done. I'm not crazy. You see what I'm saying? I know how to program beats. I know how to produce the full thing. You know what I'm saying? And now,
all the way to the mix down,
to everything. Now, don't get it twisted. I have a team, and I praise my team. I'm not like these other guys that hide their team. That's why I always promote and I give them credits on all my records.
Who is your team?
I got Lee on the beats. I got Nasty Beat Makers. He produced All I Do Is Win.
It sounds like it has looked. So he has explained the difference between a beat maker and a... So many here are producers. Producers, beat makers, producers. Okay. So now you know the difference, eh? Yeah? But traditionally, the work of a producer was the person who managed the budget. Who managed the budget. So the record label will approach a producer and tell them, we want to create a sound recording for our artist, yeah? Because a producer is the person who eventually creates a sound recording, yeah? For the record label. So a label will come and say, we have $1 million, we've given you Notorious B.I.G., go create for us a product. So I know I have $1 million to work with, yeah? So I'll manage the budget, I'll hire the session musicians, I'll hire the mix engineer, I'll choose the recording studio, I'll choose the mastering studio, yeah? The producer was the link between the label and the talent. And his sole work was to create a sound recording. Nothing has changed, except that most of these things have now been consolidated into one person. And the producer is also a composer, and a beat maker. A beat maker is a composer. I don't call myself a beat maker. That's an insult. I compose music. Yeah? It's more prestigious, it has more respect. Put some respect on it. Yeah? Don't call me a beat maker. Who's a beat maker? Yeah? So, a producer nowadays is doing a lot of these things. He's recording, he owns the studio, he's doing the mastering. Yeah? A producer has become like the centerpiece of a sound recording. So nothing has changed. Their role of delivering a sound recording is still critical. Just that right now they're taking on more roles. Yeah? They're directing the creative process for the talent. Yeah? They're able to know that key is wrong. No, that sound won't work. Yeah? Let's bring in this guitarist. No, let's change this. Yeah? So they're able to manipulate the entire creative process and come up with a sound recording. So nothing really has changed, but that is exactly who a producer is. Yeah? So when guys ask you, are you a producer? You have to know the difference between being a producer and being a composer. Yeah? So if you can produce a sound recording, you are a producer. You can deliver a final finished sound recording, you are a producer. Yeah? But if you can compose a song, write music, and have other people perform it for you, you're not necessarily the producer. Yeah? And sometimes a producer doesn't have to even know how to play an instrument. DJ Khaled talked about Quincy Jones. Did you hear what he asked? Quincy Jones didn't play a single instrument on Billie Jean or on that album, but he produced the album. He was able to bring this drummer, he was able to bring this guitarist, and the person who wrote the person who wrote the majority of the songs in Michael Jackson Thriller album was called who? The greatest album of all time, and you don't know the songwriter. 1,000 Bob Airtime. No Google. If you don't tell me in 10 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you can Google Rod Temperton. Who is that? The guy who made the most money from that album. That's the guy. He died 2 years ago. He was an old British guy. Rod Temperton. So that's the guy who wrote most of the songs in Michael Jackson's album. Yeah? Let me play for you some of the songs Rod Temperton wrote. Then, and who has sampled those songs. By the way, I love Michael Jackson. I listen to his music a lot. Who sampled this song? Who sampled this song? LL Cool J. This other one. Who sampled these songs? Hey. Huh? Let me play the part they sampled. Maybe you'll know it. Kanye West. The last part of that song that they sampled was this part. This part has So Rod Temperton wrote most of that album. So nobody has heard of him. He wrote that album. It sold 36 million records. He bought a farm in Britain and went to retire. You can imagine how much money he made. For every single Grammy Michael Jackson won, Rod Temperton got a Grammy. Yeah? And nobody knows about him. A rich old Mzungu who died 2 years ago. Yeah? So that's the power of songwriters. Yeah? And that's now we are going to the business side of songwriting. How do you secure yourself? How do you make sure that you get compensated for doing your job? Have you Googled him, Rod Temperton? Yeah? Who's on Google right now? Google a song by LL Cool J called Hey Lover on Wikipedia right now and tell me what names are written there. Google right now. When you get it, raise your hand. Yeah? So, the last point, the business side of things. Who owns what? Who owns? So you've done your music, you've produced the song, you've written the song. Who owns what? Every song has 2 components to it. How many components? To it. Which are what and what? Microphone iko wapi? Aya, who has an answer? Or I reward myself still. 2 components. 2. Who has ever signed a split sheet in his life? You signed. So what's 2 components? If you fail that one, I'll get airtime from you. What's 2 parts? Of what? Of a song.
In a split sheet.
Yes.
There's the production, so the producer.
No. Next. No, Brian, don't answer. I know you know. Because I've taught you. Check it, don't answer. I know you know. Anybody else?
I'm guessing IP and copyright.
They're all IPs. It's like saying a tie and a ring. Yeah?
Some recording rights.
And the second one, that's the first one.
Sound recording rights.
And the second one is what? They're all copyright. Sound recording is a copyright. No? There's a name for it. Almost there. Almost. But there's a name for it. There's an industry name for it. The part that now the publisher administers. What is it called? We've got one already, sound recording. The second one, it's called the musical works. It's called the what? The musical works, which is administered by the publisher. Yeah? The musical work copyright protects the underlying musical arrangement, your melodies, your lyrics, all of that. Yeah? Because they can be converted into what we call print sheet music. Have you ever heard of that? Print sheet music. Yeah? You can be able to score it on a sheet of music. That is called the musical work. The sound recording is sometimes referred to as the mechanical rights, the royalties. The physical, the actual song, yeah? The sound recording, this is the copyright of the actual recording that is contained in an MP3, a CD, a vinyl, a cassette, your song on the hard drive. That is the recording, that's the sound recording copyright. Yeah? The musical works are owned by who? Who owns the musical works? Who owns that part? Then, the publisher administers, they don't own. No? Then, not the artists, the songwriters. Yeah? Let's learn to differentiate. You know, an artist is a general term for performers, actors, people who perform musical works. They are called artists. But the people who do the work, they are called songwriters. Yeah? I may be a songwriter, but I'm not an artist. Yeah? Rihanna is a very perfect example of a performer. You can count the songs Rihanna has written with these two fingers. They are next to almost non-existent. Rihanna doesn't write anything. Rihanna is a but she's a brand. She's a what? She's a brand. There's a song called We Found Love. Who wrote that song? Who wrote that song? Calvin Harris wrote that song. The song was licensed by Sky Network for a commercial. I think they paid like $300,000 or something. You know Rihanna got nothing. Zero shillings. Zero from that song. Why? Is she entitled to something? Why is she not entitled? Because it's not her song. But half of that money, 150,000, went to the record label. For what? The mechanical right. Okay. So depending on the deal that Rihanna has with the record label, she might have gotten something from the 150 that came to the label. Might have gotten something. But the other half of the musical works, all of it went to who? Calvin Harris. Yeah? So you have to know who owns what and who controls what. Yeah? So for example, I'm going to use my song again so that you see it's practical and it's possible in this country. What song do I use? So a song like Kare, for example. Who wrote the song? Who wrote the song? Writing. Huh? Eh? Who wrote that song? Ati? And who? No, there are people who wrote it. So when you're filling in a split sheet for the musical works, you don't use your name. Chris Ero, utasema was written by Chris Ero. What is your government name? Christopher. Yeah? So that song is written by Boniface Chege, Francis Amisi, Gabriel Kagudu, and Eric Musyoka. Yeah? The rights to that song were administered by the publishing now, by PHAT Entertainment and Share Publishing. PHAT Entertainment holds the publishing rights for PHAT. The song was performed by PHAT. Share Publishing handles the publishing rights for Eric, myself, yeah? Who owns the sound recording, the second part of the song? Who owns it? Huh? No, don't point at me. I don't own it. Who? Decimal? Because it's a label that released the song. Are we clear on who owns what and who administers what? And that's why you tend to have a very big problem when it comes to Kenyan music. A good example, Willie Paul. Not in a bad light. Yeah? Who administers his music? Willie Paul. Who releases the audio? Willie Paul. Who is the publisher? Willie Paul. So if a company wants to come and use that song, how is he going to deal with Willie Paul? Because there is no defined structure in ownership of this song. Yeah? And the problem with that, you tend to find that, God forbid, is not with us anymore. Nobody is left to administer those rights. So what happens to the song? What happens to your legacy? Down the drain. Yeah? But when your rights are administered by an establishment, it's easier for your family to keep collecting money. And a perfect example is the Bob Marley family. Yeah? The Bob Marley family, today, I think last year, Bob Marley family made $36 million from somebody who died almost 40 years ago. His music is still being administered. Yeah? But we have another, Bob Marley died in 1980. So in another 34 years, another 34 years, you will be able to use Bob Marley music without paying anyone. Yeah? The copyright of a song lasts the lifetime of the musician and 70 years after death. Do you know that? Yeah? That's why you can use Mozart and all those classics and nobody will ever ask you. So Michael Jackson died in 2010 or 9. So after 70 years, so 2081, you can use Billie Jean the way you want. Nobody will ask you anything. Yeah? Yeah, so let me show you an example of a split sheet. Document DJ wapi? Alienda? DJ alienda wapi? DJ yako? Aenda kwa documents. Ifungulie hahe split sheet. Ngoja kwanza. Fungua the first one. Fungua the first file, decimal master split sheet. The first one. Yes. So this is a typical split sheet. Yeah? So every time you finish writing your music, collaborating with people, this is the kind of form that you fill in. This form will always accompany that song wherever it goes. When you're registering to your CMOs, when it's being used for licensing, this is the document everybody will refer to. Yeah? This shows who owns what percentages they own, who the publishers are, who owns the master recording, who performed on the song, where the song was recorded, the lead performers. Keep going down, 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 down. Who did the background vocals, recorded, mixed, session musicians, all your contacts, your information. Yeah. Who has ever signed that form? And my artists, don't raise up your hands. Yeah? So this is a very important form. So when money from Safaricom is released, you can go and claim your share, and your publisher is able also to know who owns what. Yeah? Msishinde mkienda kotini mkisema mimi ndio nimeandika hii, mimi ndio nilifanya hii. Aya, open for me the third document. The third document. So that's a split sheet for just a band song. Yeah? Just pause. So the title of the song was Hahe, length of the song, the year of release, the producer credit. That time I was not called Musyoka. So the lyrics, I wrote half the lyrics, Builder wrote the other half of the lyrics. The music, I did half the music, Builder did half the music. Now, there was a small change on that. Pause a bit. Actually, that 50-50-50 should have been 25-25-25-25. So that it amounts to 100%. It should be 100%. So we later corrected this, but this is what I have on soft copy for now. But there's a corrected version with all these changes, yeah? And also, that time, I was publishing using my company, Decimal Media. So now I publish with the Shia Music. So we have an updated split sheet for this composition, yeah? So go down. So there was no sample, the lead vocals were done by Bildad, background vocals, I did all the BGVs, I did, Jim Chuchu did the BGVs, vocal arrangement was done by me and Bildad, session musician, Bildad played the guitar in the song, then I was the engineer, and the song was performed by just a band, yeah? Yeah, so, wait. 10 minutes. Yeah, so that's where recorded, mixed, blah blah blah, all that. Then open for me unit credit list. That one. So this is what I call a catalog. This is the catalog for the album we did with P-Unit. So for all the projects that I've done, I'm going to open also another catalog, because this was a project. So I cataloged this entirely as a project. So you can see the names of the songs, the composers, yeah, the publishers, and all that information. Just yeah. So then open Timmy Kitambo, the last document. So this is a song I've done for Timmy Tidat. So this is the split sheet for the song. I think it's coming out in March or something. So you want a sample? It's coming out in March, so he's shooting a video for it. So that's the split sheet for the song. Before that song leaves the studio, it has to have a split sheet. Me, I don't have money for lawyers. I'm not a debt collector. I don't go after musicians and songwriters asking for my money. Biashara inaisha biashara, you sign. So the song is called Kitambo, recorded in 2018. The length of the song is 3:30. Producer, executive producer is Timmy Tidat. That is, so that's where the name of the label should be. Yeah. Then the songwriter, Timmy wrote the words, so he has his share, 50%. Song composer, I wrote the music. Then the publisher, Timmy Tidat, publishes himself. My publisher, Share Publishing. Vocal performance, Timothy Award. Did you know it was called Timothy? Timmy Tidat is called Timothy Award. Go up. Then background vocals, Brian Wangi and Eric Musyoka. We've done the harmonies on the song. Vocal arrangement, me and Timmy. Session musicians, we didn't use any. Then recorded at Decimal, and we signed down there now. Yeah. So open the last document. There's a document we've not looked at. Decimal Media Release Catalog, that one. Yeah. So when you publish your own music, you must always have a catalog of your music. Yeah. So this is the catalog of all my music. This is an older catalog. There's a new updated catalog. So you see, like all the songs I've done for Giuliani, Biceps. That's the catalog number. The year we released the song. KCCC, all those songs. Nonini, my catalog with Nonini. Those are all the songs I've done for him. Keep going down. Daddy Owen. Those are the songs I've done for him. Just a Band, the songs I've done. Professor J, P-Unit, Nikki. Keep going. Yeah, so Koflani, all the songs we've done. TID. Yeah, so you must always catalog your content, and you give this catalog to your publisher. So your publisher is the one who keeps this catalog for you. So you have a copy so that you can always track your music. And if somebody ever wants to use your music, they can always know who did what, instead of second guessing anything. So it's all available for you to access, and for any potential person who wants to use the music to access. Yeah, and that is the business side of things. I'm being told time has run out, so I'll take a few questions for those who want any clarification. Then we can meet at our stand from 2 o'clock. I need to go and eat first. I'm now starving. I'm starving. Yeah, so unaweza funga. Yeah, so any questions? Anybody with questions? Before I call it a wrap, Moi? Yeah.
Hi.
Yes.
My name is Lloyd.
Yes.
So I was wondering, when you're talking about the sponsorships and everything, assuming you had an artist or maybe at your studio, not as a session musician or just as a friend rather, like you're doing a song, then maybe I just start having a contribute a certain part to it.
Yeah.
Would I still be entitled to the song?
If it's significant. For me, I always credit you if you've contributed over 10% of that song. Yeah? For me, that's my criteria, because you could just hum something. And if it doesn't change the song significantly, Puff Daddy was very notorious at that. He would just say, yeah, come on, and get 10%. Yeah? So he was very notorious at that. So it depends. If it is significantly contributing to the song, yes. If maybe you felt that there's a melody that you've done and you've come up with this harmony underneath it, are you just doing BGVs? So you'll be credited as a BGV. So I can pay you as work for hire, yeah, but I won't credit you as a songwriter. Yeah. So for me, I always pay all my BGV guys, all my session musicians. Yeah. So I may pay them in kind, I may owe them something, yeah, but we make sure that it's above the board. You don't want somebody to come and start saying, by the way, I did that. Yeah?
Last question. Generally, your opinion on that. Earlier you mentioned Kenyan generation music, like second gen, third gen.
Yeah.
What do you think we are going right now? Like, with the rise of bedroom producers and everything. What's the future of Kenya? Because Kitambo Pay used to hype to Kenyan music in Kizua and everything. But now where we're going, how do you think Kenyan music is developing? Like, do we still have the Kapuka, the Genge, Kina Juakali, or now you're going to more, the sounds are changing to Soku styles and everything.
And you see, that's why I said, for me, personally, I don't think it's right to judge the music of a generation. Yeah? And the power of music, because you see now you're emotionally relating to Nonini and Juakali. So you're stuck in that era. So you're mentally stuck there. But there are new kids doing fantastic things. Yeah? Can you imagine if today we are still dancing to Earth, Wind and Fire? You see? So you have to mature enough to understand that music transcends generations. So don't look at a generation and be like, these guys are doing bad music. I mean, Man's Not Hot is at 200 million views. So are those idiots watching? No. It's a completely different generation of listeners. So you have to learn to respect every generation that comes. And for me, I never look at it and say like, us guys who are doing the best music, nobody will ever. It's bullshit. Yeah? It's a bunch of bullshit. You have to learn to respect a generation's creativity. Because, as I said, the young guys here are looking up to me. How would it sound like if I came and told them, you guys, your music is work. You can't do what we used to do. Yeah? It doesn't work like that. Because these people are being inspired by what you've done. Yeah? They can't be you. They have to chart their own path. And they have to also feel special in what they're doing. So when you come from a different generation and you start telling them, I think the song I did called Keroro, nobody will ever do a song like that. It doesn't work like that. Yeah? You have to give hope to generations. You have to learn to respect what other generations are doing. Yeah? Because there was music before you, there'll be music after you, and way long after you're gone. And every generation tries to carve an identity for itself. Yeah? And that's why you tend to find that Eminem right now is not the hottest thing. Lil Wayne now is not the hottest thing. Right now we have Migos and Quavos. That's their vibe, that's their style. Respect it. Kids are dancing to that. There's a consumer, there's a market for that kind of music. Yeah, so for me it's all about respecting the creative process and respecting the generation of musicians who are coming. Because if you look down upon these guys, you're not helping them. Yeah? They're inspired by what you've done. So when you start telling them, I don't think your music is working, why do you want me to keep doing Dandora Love all my life? Hell no. It doesn't work like that. Yeah? One last one, I'm being pointed.
Hi, my name is George.
Yes.
First of all, thank you for your time and your wisdom. I just want to find out, right after the split share, just back to the business, is it a one-time fee for the producer, or how do you pay the record label?
Good question, good question. So, the fee that I charge to make a song does not mean you've paid me to own that song. Yeah? That fee, as I said, you pay the producer to manage the budget for that song. Yeah. The record label. So when Timmy came and said, Musyoka, Nikona is in Gwanye, you do a song. Timmy is a record label. At that point, he's commissioning a producer to do for him a job. So it's my work to allocate that money. How much money is gonna go into mixing? How much money is gonna go into the studio time? Yeah? How much money is gonna go into hiring a guitarist? So that's what you charge for. He did not charge to own the song. He charged to own the sound recording that I produced for him. Yeah? Are we clear? So that's what that money is for. You don't pay a producer to own the entire song. You only own half the song, the sound recording. Because at that point, the person who has paid for it, the executive producer at this point, the record label, will own the sound recording. So if this song I've done with Timmy is used on a commercial, yeah, Timmy will be paid half the money for the sound recording, yeah, and then we'll split the other half for the musical work. So essentially, how much will I end up owning? How much? 20? 25%. Correct. Yeah, because it's 100%. So you split half mechanical, half musical work. I own half the musical work. He owns the mechanical rights.